Back to the Future is one of the most successful and popular films of all time. This probably doesn't need to be stated, as even people that haven't seen the film likely have some knowledge of the general concept of the story, or have at least heard of Doc Brown. In fact, to say that this is a successful and popular film would be using words that don't really do it justice. We're not just talking about box office numbers or units sold or the general influence of the story even. It is a beloved property and a beloved tale. I really want to emphasize the word beloved because it is in that select group of films that is truly loved by its fan base, but not in a more obscure way. It is one of those movies that is both a cult classic and a major mainstay of the mainstream. How is such a phenomenon possible? Well, that's what I plan to talk about briefly here, although I don't know if I can really do the movie justice, so I'll be going in a different direction in a little bit. You'll see what I mean. Alright, what makes Back to the Future so beloved? Upon watching it for this review, a couple of things stood out to me in particular. One factor, I believe, is just rewatchability. Not in just terms of how generally enjoyable it is, you could say that about many movies, but in that you can watch this movie time and time again and find new details. For instance, all the clocks in the opening scene provide fun visuals which also set up the general theme of the movie. This is a time travel story after all. Or, with the benefit of subtitles, the newscast mentions the stolen petroleum, providing some subtle foreshadowing of an aspect of Doc's experiment. That ties into another major factor. From a script standpoint, this screenplay is incredibly well written, a finely tuned and crafted piece of work with so many little details. On that note, I think one of the signs of a great movie is that every single scene serves a purpose. No line, no shot is wasted. Everything serves the story in some way. I don't doubt the script had many drafts, but many movies are well written and don't strike such a long-lasting chord. Well, then there's the other component, the characters, which are made up of that combination of writing and having the right actors. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd in particular seem to have amazing chemistry and bring their characters to life. These characters have so much heart, and even though we don't spend much time with them before the plot really gets into full gear, they seem like real people, and manage to demonstrate such energy without ever becoming too cartoony. I could go on, but I don't want to be redundant, as I know this movie has been covered enough already. All I can do is bring my own perspective. What stood out to me the most, what I connected with the most this time, was the character of George McFly. He's always been a favorite, but he resonated more with me this time. In some ways, he's as much, if not more so, the hero of the story. Sure, Doc and Marty are the protagonists, and we want to see them triumph, but George goes through the best character arc in the film. He's shy and unsure of himself and pretty nerdy, seen as strange for his love of science fiction. Classic, golden age sci-fi, of course. The best kind. He also has a fear of failure and rejection, both in his writing and his romantic endeavors. Yet we want him to succeed, for Marty's sake, but also for his own. I suspect he's a very relatable character for many people. He certainly was for me. The film, although steeped in references from both the 1950s and 80s Americana, is often considered timeless. It could of course be lightning in a bottle, where it all just comes together so well. It almost seems manifested, like it's always been there, like a force of nature, and not something that was filmed tirelessly by a film crew. That's probably an example of the best of movie magic. But I suspect one aspect of the film's success and longevity lies with the story of George and Marty. There is a true sense of heart, true compassion within the tale. There is something rather profound about how Marty learns a bit more about himself through helping his father, seeing that they are more similar in ways than he first thought. They both grow, learning from each other. That's something that just seems fundamentally human and good to me. Hey, it's also got rock and roll. So those are some thoughts on Back to the Future's success. It did also make me think of another potential project. What are the truly great movies that people in general consider great over time? How is this determined? And do I agree? That's another video for another time, but watching Back to the Future helped to inspire it. Another sign of a great movie, perhaps? I'll let you, the viewer, decide on that one.